Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's a gloriously cold morning here in Cambridge. I think the temperature is about 0 degrees. We've got frost everywhere, but today we're going to specifically be talking about the heat pump because it's been 1 year since we installed our heat pump. And that means I've got 12 months worth of data on how much energy this thing has used, and I'm going to share it with you all today. Now, this is the short form version of this video. That means that all I'm going to give you are the headline numbers. I'll have you in and out of here as soon as I possibly can. If you want to see more data, how I arrived at those numbers, the long form version of this video is linked up above. But I'm going to head back into the office because it's freezing cold out here and I'm not a Bernese Mountain Dog, and I'll share all those numbers with you. So as I said, this is going to be the abridged version of this presentation. We're going to look at what did the heat pump take to run, how much did it cost me, what are the savings that we've made compared to when we were running on gas. I'm not going to cover other tariffs. If you want to see that information, then there will be a link up the top somewhere, also in the description, to the full version of this video. So in that version, we'll go through what would it have cost to run on Cozy, what would it have cost to run on Cozy with batteries, the price cap tariff, lots more information, obviously a much longer video, but this is supposed to be the short version, so I'm going to dive straight into the numbers. So our heat pump for the last 12 months, that is from the beginning of December 2024 until the end of November 2025, consumed 2,457 kilowatt hours of energy. Now that seems like a lot, and it is, but it's not as expensive as you would think. Now, if we had brought that energy in directly from the grid at our market rate, and now I should say here, my market rate is a little bit different from others. I'm on the Octopus Intelligent Go tariff. That's the tariff that we use to charge our EVs overnight. But we do use a little bit of power from the grid every so often. So I've averaged out my market rate at 7.8 pence per kilowatt hour. So that means across my full day, for every kilowatt hour I was consuming, it would have cost me 7.8 pence per kilowatt hour. And we achieve that by bringing energy into our large battery storage system, storing it during the day, and then running the house from that throughout the course of the day. So our average cost for a whole day, 7.8 pence per kilowatt hour. So those 2,457 kilowatt hours would have cost us £191.66 at 7.8 pence per kilowatt hour. What did we actually pay? Nothing. Nada. It cost us zero to run our heat pump throughout the course of this year. And I'll explain why. As those that have been around the channel for a while know, we have a relatively large solar array. It's approximately about 11 kilowatt hours. I'd need to go actually add up the numbers, but about 11 kilowatt hours of panels and about 40 kilowatt hours of storage, coupled up with multiple battery systems to that. So that means that we can import all the energy we need overnight, we can store it, and we can then feed the system during the day. And obviously during the summer months, we can fill those batteries from solar rather than from importing it from the grid, and we can export any excess, which covers our usage during the winter months. So what I'll do now is I'll pop a chart up on the screen. This shows you the month-by-month breakdown of how much energy the heat pump used. And again, people generally tend to focus on the December, January, February, which you can see on the left-hand side of the graph. And then as we go into the summer, you'll see it tails right off. And that's mainly because in the summer, the heat pump is not heating the house. What it's actually doing is just producing hot water for showers and baths and the like. But 100% of that 2.4 megawatt hours of energy that the heat pump consumed for the whole year has been offset by our solar generation. So that means it hasn't cost us a penny. And when we actually look at the projection for the whole year, we're at the beginning of December now, so obviously I've still got another month to run, but I'm expecting to have a total energy bill for the year of about minus £200. That means that at the end of the year, when everything is done and dusted, all bills are settled, Octopus will owe me £200. Now, if we'd have stayed with gas, we'd have said, when our gas boiler was dying, let's replace our gas boiler. Or if we'd have kept the old gas boiler going for another year, I'm not 100% convinced it would have lasted another year. But if we had, That old gas boiler, which some say is about 75% efficient, would have cost us £740 and 51p in gas to run that gas boiler at the current gas rates. Now, I know gas rates fluctuate a little bit during the year, but the current gas rate is 6.22 pence per kilowatt hour here in the east of England. So £740 to run it on a system similar to my old gas boiler. If I'd have replaced that with a modern condensing boiler, it would have cost £617 and 9 pence. So still significant chunk of change. There would have been some other small savings. The servicing costs on our old gas boiler were about £22 a month. The servicing costs on our heat pump are about £9 a month. And this is for a service plan. That means somebody will come out if there's a problem. We also get a yearly inspection thrown in. Now, I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, but I don't get my gas boiler inspected. You're insane. If you do not get your gas boiler serviced once a year, then the first thing you'll know that there's a problem is probably when you die from carbon monoxide poisoning. Get your gas boiler serviced. It is a thing sitting in your kitchen trying to kill you. So I'm going to incorporate the £22 a month. I'm going to deduct those numbers. But overall, the heat pump has been a massive investment for us because, as I say, if we'd have stayed on gas, we would have used a significant chunk of gas, about £600 just to heat our home. Now, another point that might come up in the comments is if we'd have stayed on gas, that 2,457 kilowatt hours of energy that we used to run the heat pump, we could have exported that. Now, not all of it was solar, but let's assume 100% of that was energy that we generated. We would have got a payment from Octopus of £368 for that energy. We'd have still had to find another £180 just to cover the gas costs. So right now, we're not paying anything, but I would have still had to give Octopus another £180 for the gas if I'd have continued using a gas boiler. Okay, so the bottom line number is it has cost us nothing to run our heat pump for this year. Our cost of heating 1 year ago was £1,200 for the year. So we've saved £1,200 by not having to pay for gas. We've saved about £1,000 on our electricity bills, which gives us, a combined saving of about £2,200 for the year. Now, I know everyone's going to dive into the comments and say, but you spent a fortune on a solar system, you spent a fortune on a heat pump. If you combine the cost of both of those together, if you were starting from scratch today, and you would be somewhere around about £18,000 to £19,000, I think, to be able to install both of them to the same specifications as what we have. So if you're saving £2,200 a year, divide your £19,000 by £2,200 a year, and that gives you your return on investment. So again, depending on the system you put in, it may not be exactly like you'd be looking at somewhere about 8 to 9 years for the whole thing to pay for itself. But ultimately, we installed our system a long time ago. It has already paid for itself. So therefore, our running costs have been zero. And in fact, when we average everything out for 2025, our cost to run our entire home, to charge our 2 electric cars, to heat the house, and everything will come out at minus £200 for the year. Now, I don't do these videos because I want people to say, "Oh, you did a great job." I'm not looking for anybody to copy what I've done. You need to do what is right for you. But what I want to do with these videos is show you that it is possible to get to a zero energy bill state where energy is not something you have to factor into your budget. Now, yes, it requires significant upfront investments to get there, but the key to this is you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to spend £15,000 on a solar system on day one. You could spend a smaller amount of money. Once that system has paid for itself, you can expand it. This is exactly what we've done over the last 15 years, is we started small and we've grown the system as we go. And we've reached a point now where we do not have an energy bill. Now, our plans is, my wife and I, we want to retire soon. We want to retire early. And we've done this specifically so that when we get to the point where we do decide we want to retire, we don't have to worry about energy bills. We don't have to worry about the cost of energy going up. The solar system that we have on a house will probably outlive the pair of us, and it will continue to return on our investment every single year for the foreseeable future. Anyway, this has been the short version. If you want the long version, you want to see how it compares to multiple tariffs, then click the link above or in the description below. With that, I'm going to sign off. I hope this has been informative. If it has, a like and subscribe would be really appreciated. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.